The story opens in 2092 in a highly industrialized polluted city full of flying cars. And this guy's name is Taeho. He is a pilot of a spaceship called Victory who works as a space debris sweeper. He's out of cash and wants to sell a bag of rice for some cash. Taeho is looking for his daughter who has gone missing in a tragic accident. However, he isn't able to find her. Then we see him walking down the streets. He then gets inside a spaceship, which quickly leads him to space in a matter of seconds. Earth has become uninhabitable for humans, thus, most of them have started living in space and even established a space colony similar to a flat Earth. The creator of this magnificent flat Earth is James Sullivan. Some reporters have arrived to meet and condemn his company's environmental disaster on Earth. However, James isn't ready to accept and even explains to them how he is going to terraform Mars to make it habitable for humans. Meanwhile, a team of space sweepers are taking a newly fallen spaceship in their custody and they're happy since their competitor Taeho hasn't arrived to snatch it away from them. However, the Victory spaceship suddenly appears behind them. Her name is Jung, she's the captain of the ship and this guy's name is Tiger Park. And their other member is a robot named Bubs. He aggressively throws a heavy anchor through the space debris, and they begin to pull it away from others, however their competitors begin to chase after it. Bubs jumps onto space debris and activates the anchor. Then suddenly, they come across a space colony satellite, however, Victory's spaceship Captain Jung doesn't stop and uses it as a way to leave behind the other space sweepers. Afterwards they move ahead, but break one of the antennas on their way to the space debris management satellite. The total debris was sold for $580, but as he has broken one of their antennas, he refuses to pay him, which makes Taeho go crazy since he's having a difficult time already. Victory spaceship sweepers, despite having a monstrous spaceship, they aren't able to earn much money, and have ended up in debt. As they're playing a card game, Bubs starts humming a cheerful song. Tiger Park gets annoyed and asks him to shut his mouth. However, Bubs doesn't have a mouth. Tiger Park is angry, as his personal stuff like a bag of rice, batteries, etc. have started to go missing that he has been saving for a special occasion. He begins to suspect Captain Jung and tries to scare her to spit out the truth, however, she puts her gun on his head to shut his mouth. Then Bubs ends the game winning all the money. The three of them get angry and start fighting with each other while Bubs deposits his cash into a locker, and later we see him looking at a female robot with enthusiasm. As Taeho is repairing the spaceship, he notices some dent marks. He begins to investigate, and finds a little girl inside a space car. She's a human girl and her name is Konim. Afterwards, Taeho notices the girl on television. The news anchor warns the people to be aware of such an android, as previously a similar android has been used as a bomb by a criminal group called Black Foxes. They get scared of her and run away from her. However, Taeho finds a phone from inside of her Konim's bag where he gets her father's contact details. After landing on a residential satellite, Taeho tells them his plan to ask the girl's guardian for bring cash in exchange of Konim. They call Dr. Khan, asking if he knows the girl. The doctor asks them to bring her to the Zenith Telescope's satellite, and he'll pay them $2 million in cash. However, Taeho asks him to meet at a different location. They get ready, and head to the commercial district satellite for the meeting. Dr. Khan arrives there and hands over the bag full of cash to them. However, as he looks for the girl, he finds the bag empty. Meanwhile, Konim is wandering around the place. Then suddenly people start to recognize her as the explosive bomb. They begin to scatter around the place, and UTS soldiers start shooting at her. However, Tiger Park and Taeho saves her. They again target them and begin to shoot. Konim creates an indestructible invisible shield with nanobots to protect them, which surprises the Captain Jung as she looks at her with amazement. And they safely escape from there. Taeho is angry at Tiger Park as he has left the bag of money behind. Konim shows her concern over his loss of money as she makes a drawing of Captain Jung. Meanwhile at UTS Flat Earth, an UTS executive is giving a presentation of how they have developed a rare plant species to make Mars habitable. However, James Sullivan wants him to edit the presentation to make it very clear that the plant can only grow in Mars soil, and not on Earth. Sullivan wants Earth to remain inhabitable. Since the Victory ship is damaged, they drop by a maintenance factory satellite to grab some parts. However, they didn't have money, so they had to sell Bub's batteries, which made him angry. Seeing them in trouble, Konim goes to Taeho to ask for a favor. He instantly denies to help her as he doesn't want to get attached to her and asks her to stay away from him. However, cute Konim manages to convince him. She brings him to the tomato plant she grew with her powers, and wants him to sell these. And earn some money. He takes all the tomato and sells them to the workers. They get happy to taste the fresh tomato. And this way Taeho made $23, and he thanked Konim for her help. Afterwards, we see Bubs and Konim having a conversation. Bubs is telling her about Victory spaceship members. Suddenly, Konim calls Bubs' sister, and we get to know that Bubs is actually a female robot. Following that, Konim asks her about Taeho's past. Taeho was a high-command UTS soldier, but one day he came across a little girl. he couldn't let her die there and adopted her. Because of his daughter, he couldn't fulfill his cruel duties as a space guard anymore, which led him to his termination. And he was thrown out of UTS citizenship and became homeless. One day, due to a collision of space debris with the residential satellite, Taeho had lost his daughter Suenai. However, he still hasn't given up and is looking for her. Then suddenly, they get a call from Dr. Kong. Taeho quickly runs towards them and picks up the call. Dr. Kong asks them to meet up with him. Tiger Park tries to convince him to not hand over Conan to them. However, Taeho doesn't care. He only has one goal, which is finding his daughter, and that needs money. During this, Captain Jung is reading a book of Dr. Kong, and gets to know everything about Konim's secret. Konim, on the other hand, goes to the toilet and a man follows her. After hearing her scream, they begin to look for her. Tiger Park quickly chases after the kidnapper, but he loses them from his sight. As the kidnapper tries to run away, Taeho comes there and saves Konim. However, his allies arrive there, then Tiger Park comes there and beats the shit out of them. Then they uncover the mask to find it's Karam. They later find out that these guys are from the Black Foxes group. Karam claims that they were an environmental organization until the space guards from UTS began hunting them down. Karam tells them that they need Konim in order to heal Earth back to life, since she has the powers to revive a dead tree back to life. And James Sullivan, on the other hand, wants to use Konim to grow life on Mars and wants to destroy life on Earth by using a massive bomb. Then suddenly, UTS soldiers arrive there looking for Konim. Everyone begins to scatter around. Taeho takes Konim from the air shafts. Meanwhile, Captain Jung is getting ready to escape from there with the spaceship. Taeho notices the ship and quickly runs towards it as the soldiers shoot at them. He jumps towards the ship and Bubs catches him. However, one of the soldiers swings towards them like Spider-Man and grabs onto Konim. And both Konim and the soldier begin to fall down. Tiger Park grabs her and swings away. They get inside the ship and quickly leave the satellite. However, they're getting chased and they begin to shoot them, and one of the rockets hit the ship and they get thrown inside a field of space debris full of nanobots. The nanobots begin to damage the spaceship. However, Konim opens her eyes and uses her powers to protect the spaceship and repairs it as they look at her with amazement. But she has used too much of her power and faints. Tiger notices her heart is not beating. They get so scared and try to put life back into her. However, suddenly, she farts and closes her nose. Tiger Park begins to laugh out loud, calling her a farting machine. They have been announced as a part of the infamous Black Fox group. They plan to go back to Earth. However, first they need money. Taeho and others arrive at the abandoned residential satellite, where they meet with the Black Foxes and Konim's dad. She hugs her dad and begins to tell him everything. Meanwhile, Captain Jung notices an EMP device outside that turns off all the mechanical things. They activate the device and everything stops working, and the soldiers gets inside and starts killing everyone, leaving Konim, Tiger Park, Taeho, and Captain Jung. James Sullivan appears there. He already knows Jung. He grabs her face and takes out a micro self-destructive bomb from her mouth and breaks it. And he is surprised to see a great former UST commander in such a terrible condition. He offers him $4 million to stay away from his plan to destroy Earth and live a peaceful life. Taeho stares at the pile of cash and moves towards it to grab it. And James Sullivan leaves from there. Taeho starts gathering the money into the bag and asks others to take their share. However, they refuse to take the money which caused them Konim's life. They plan on going back to rescue Konim. Taeho tries to warn them it's a suicide. However, Tiger Park doesn't care. Taeho takes the money and goes away to look for his daughter. And finds that Sinho is no more. He begins to cry as he remembers her, then goes back to the spaceship, and asks Jung to hurry up with the rescue mission. And they quickly move ahead. However, the soldiers notice them and begin to launch missiles at them. However, Bubs gets on the ship and starts destroying the attack ships one by one, but there are still dozens of missiles chasing after them. Taeho takes the life-threatening risk and enters the Earth's atmosphere to get rid of the missiles chasing them. The missiles begin to heat up and explode before coming in contact with the spaceship, and Taeho manages to go back into space with a sudden turn. Then they quickly enter the Waste Management satellite and enter inside of its core to find the hydrogen bomb where Konim is kept. They quickly get inside the bomb and meet with Konim. She asks for her dad. Tiger Park couldn't tell her the truth and lies that he's at work. Then Captain Jung informs them that the bomb cannot be defused. Nothing can stop it from explosion. It will create a 5,000-kilometer long wave that will kill all the nanobots, including the ones that are inside of Konim. However, Taeho wants to save her. He plans to take her away from the explosion. Meanwhile, the UTS soldiers are on their way to the satellite to kill them. As Taeho moves forward, a soldier kicks him. Tiger Park asks Konim to go inside the ship and wait for them, and starts fighting with the soldier. But she's too strong even for him. However, he pulls the lever to open the door and they get sucked out, and he manages to save himself. Then they inform all the space sweepers to help them fight UTS soldiers as the life on Earth is in danger, and warns everyone to leave the satellite as it's going to fall onto Earth. They quickly leave from the satellite and find all the space sweepers have come to their aid and begin to fight with the UTS spaceship as Taeho and others escape since they need to take Konim away from the explosion wave. However, James Sullivan appears and starts attacking them. Taeho needs to activate the speed boost. Tiger Park tells Bubs to activate the gear, but Bubs have been severely damaged by James. However, Jung climbs towards it and activates the gear, which enables Taeho to boost the speed. Meanwhile, the satellite is about to fall onto Earth and the bomb explosion only has 1 minute remaining. James is furious and is looking for Konim on the spaceship. However, we get to know that before leaving the satellite, Tiger Park has handed over her to Black Foxes to keep her safe, and they took the hydrogen bomb on the ship to get it away from everyone. Then suddenly, the bomb explodes and creates a massive circle. Everyone gets relieved that the explosion acquired away from Earth. Then suddenly, we see Konim on top of the spaceship, and we get to know that she had used the indestructible nanobots to create a shield around Victory's spaceship, saving everyone inside. Afterwards, they get paid for their efforts and buy a new spaceship. Bubs have bought the desired skin graft for herself. They have started living like a family altogether. Konim goes back to Earth from time to grow some trees there. However, they're still working as the best space sweepers in the world. Do you think this is what lies ahead of our future? Comment down your thoughts on this movie. This is your RecapKun. See you in the next video.